Danielle Wickes.
Hi, Kate. How are you?
Hi. It's so great to have you today. And it's great to have so many people watching. And it is great to have this project.
It's great to be here.
Oh,
Thank you
my
so
goodness.
much.
Well, we are super grateful to you for so many things I wanted to say, as everything. But this project has really blown up the internet. I'll tell you. Yes, people are coming on and saying hello. And Lori says, yay, love me some Danielle. We do too. Super excited to have you. So let me cover, it's like my brain is running a mile a minute. So let me take a breath. Let me cover a couple of things. One, your kits. Let me grab, Miranda, would you grab me a collection? One of the SuperDuo collections so I can show it. This all started because we were talking about our SuperDuo collections and you showed us that amazing bracelet that you did. So what we did was we did a pre-sale of the SuperDuo Duets color collection. That's out. That has shipped. So you folks will be seeing those pop up in your mailboxes very shortly. So we did this. Then, Danielle, we also, and we kind of did a quiet launch. We launched them just this morning. The large tubes of the duets are in stock and ready to order. So we've got those for you.
Those.
So exciting. We've got, and I'll show the clasps. The clasps are up. And those 11-aughts that you use also are up. So those are all in on the project page for you. The Melody Duets color collection, that was a limited edition. So that is sold out, but we'll be keeping the long tubes in for you folks. So, so they're there. They're ready. Get them now. So I think that's all I have to announce. There's a lot of other stuff happening behind the scenes here. But would you talk a little bit, Danielle, about this project and about just how it happened for everybody so people can get the 411 on it?
Sure, yeah. So I was doing a rediscovery of duet beads and the cymbal clasps as well, kind of at the same time. And I remember I was just kind of playing and working on stuff. And usually what I do is I just try tried and true stitches, things like good old peyote stitch and herringbone and just seeing what comes out that looks really pretty. And the original colorway was actually just 3 colors. And it was a very bright, like cantaloupe and banana yellow, which I think is called amber, and then carrot and spice. And that was the original colorway, just 3. I put it on a bright gold finding, which I think was like that one. And it was inspired by a guitar strap that I saw in the window. My oldest son plays guitar, and so he was at his lesson, and I just kind of have to hang out for half an hour in my car. And so I was bored, just walking around, and I saw these things, and I'm like, hang on. And it looked like, the tweedy fabric, and I could see that it they had done stripes with some white and then colors and then white stripes and colors. And I'm like, those little duets have white sides and color sides. And so I went home and I started playing, and then that first one was born. And then I was like, but it needs more. And so then I added 8 colors, and that's how this happened.
Yeah, it's so great. Let me put up, I've got the screenshot there. There it is, of that piece. And I love how you use the duets. It's such a great use of those beads. It has so much dimension, so much texture to it. And you inspired me. I was completely inspired to do that Gem Duo collection that I also just launched. And I did a bracelet with it. I don't know what happened to, I thought I had the bracelet sitting here, but I'll look. I always think I have it right here. And now that my space is super clean, I'm like, no. But it was totally what I did last Friday or last week was totally inspired by this piece. So we have a few of those Gem Duo collections left if you folks want to pick those up. But I'm really excited for this. We've got a link to this pattern on the project page. It actually goes to your website, and the page shows all the different variations of the kind of colorways and stuff that you've done. Right? The one on your website?
It does, yeah. It shows I've done 4 different versions actually at this point, 3 of which are patterned out on that page. And then 1 was made from a mix where they were all spilled together, and I just went random.
Oh, I love it. Let me see if I can add that page up, and you folks can see all of the stuff going on there. Hang on one second. And that link is in the project. Let me see if I can share my screen. It's always crazy when I try and share my screen. There we go. There it is. I don't know if you folks can see that. Yeah. And so that's on Danielle's on her website. And if you scroll down, scroll up, there are the PDFs. So you've got the Guitar Strap Bracelet pattern for that original, right?
Yeah.
And then the addendum for the other 2 colorways that you did down here. And so this one with what we called the Melody Collection, that one is pattern addendum number 2, I think.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, great. And thank you so much for linking. It's right on your page. Everything is there on Beadshop. And then you can see the project page. So you can find everything there. So we've got everything for you. Thank you so much, Danielle, for doing all of this. And I'm super excited to see how this goes together. So let me add the other clasps and stuff to the stage while you move your camera around, and we'll get this show on the road.
There we go.
So let me show you folks real quick. This is, and then I'll add Danielle's back in. This is the Melody collection of all 8. If I do, I don't know why this is backwards. Hang on, that's weird. Hold, please. I never have a backwards camera. Isn't that strange?
For me, it's showing correct.
Is it?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Does it look right? I'm not sure.
It does to me.
Okay. So nothing looks backwards to you?
No, not currently.
Okay. All right. Let me know, everybody. This is the Duets color collection, everything that Danielle used. And then in addition to this new clasp that we got in for you folks, this one that has the clasp in it, these, I will tell you, these clasps, Danielle, were so hard to find.
I know.
This project has sold them out. So we have some in stock that are selling quickly of the silver, the brass, and the bright gold. These we will continue to keep into stock, folks. So if these get sold out, which I know they will because you love them, we will continue to carry them as soon as they're restocked. Okay. You, though, Danielle, have also given them a alternative, which is this Rosos clasp, right? And this is the Rosos. This is a 5-strander, where this one here is a 6-strander. So you could use this clasp, but you just make your bracelet a little slimmer, right? 1 row slimmer.
Yeah, it will start with 10 beads for the larger clasp and just start with 8 beads for the smaller.
Okay, gotcha. And so you could use this with our acrylic magnetic clasp. While you're working, I'll try and find I think I was wearing it, so it might be in the house. I'll look for it. But I'll get that Gem Duo bracelet because I used I use that clasp on that Gem Duo bracelet. And then the seed beads that we used, it's on the list, but let me show you. It's a, do you have it to hand? Let's see. I have it right here. It is the 11-2020, the matte metallic green blue iris.
Yes, I do have that.
Great. And you could use any 11-aught, but it's listed on the Guitar Strap Bracelet project page. Everything is listed there, including the SuperDuo Duets. I may have a few more of the Melody collection after we count everything up. I know you folks love this collection here, so I don't know. Maybe we will restock it. How's that for an answer? Maybe. It takes a lot because we had to tube every single one of these and tag every single one. So it does take a lot of labor on this, to be completely honest. And you folks know we're just a little group here, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Okay, stay tuned for those. But now, if you want them, I would grab those large tubes, so that they don't sell out. Okay, I'm going to switch over to your camera here, Danielle, and you can take it away.
I love your collection that you made. It's so pretty.
Oh, well,
it's really cool.
Thanks. I'm going to try and find the bracelet. So I'll go ahead and mute myself so I'm not too loud, but I'm right here watching the comments and stuff for you, okay?
Okay. And so here's that tube of seed beads. I saw just a question popping up in the chat. This is the, it's called metallic green blue iris. And I just thought, because the edges of one of the sides is the sage and citrus duet, it looks very pretty next to it. And it just kind of accents. And so that was the one that I went with, but it also has little like kind of pops of purple if you look closely at it. And those pops of purple look awesome next to the purple edge as well. So it really is really cool. But if you wanted to make different versions of this, there is a kind of like a secret sauce to it that I can share with you that will enable you to take any colors and do your own patterns. But it's basically, you're just kind of creating stripes that have every other one. There'll be white and then solid colors. And that's where the white side duets can kind of give you that ability to do. And then in a couple of places, I placed a colorful one in between the two white sides of one. And that's what makes it kind of look like almost like a woven fabric. So that's the little trick to it, is giving it striation like that. I don't even know if that's the right word, but that was kind of what I was going for when I was playing with it. And I did make a couple versions. Some were like more random. And I thought giving it even like a hint of a pattern is what tricks the eye into seeing weaving, or like a woven kind of structure, or what's it called? Architecture to it, I guess. My words aren't good, but that's kind of what I was going for. And so it kind of worked out, but this is not the only colors you can use. You could just go crazy, make all kinds of color combos and just see what happens. And so it's really easy to get started. And there's like more than one way to start it, but I used a 2-needle method because it made it easier to follow the pattern. If you're not doing a pattern, you can always just start a peyote stitch the normal way you would with any beads. But let me just show you really quick on the first one here. So what you'll find is the structure for how to do it is in the original PDF. And it's just showing a 2-needle method for how to string it. But the pattern addendum I wrote shows the order. So if you just want to take this pattern addendum and just pick this bead as your first bead, and then you just start stringing those. Then with one side, you'll leave a long tail to do your clasp attachment. And with the other side, you'll start creating the design. So I was thinking we'll just dive in and start creating it. So the first thing I did was I took the pattern addendum and I laid out the beads in the order that they appear in the pattern. So got the black raspberry, and then it goes to the Vega luster duet, and that's this one. And then I laid out the next one, which was the plum. And after the plum, I added the blue with luster. Then I went to the mint chocolate, and in between the mint chocolate, you'll see the green luster. Then the Sage and Citrus is your last one, and that one sits with the Dark Travertine Duet. So I literally just put them out in that order. Let's see, if you only buy one color of duets to do the whole guitar strap, how many tubes do you need? Actually, so let me show you. Here's what I have left using just these. So one tube by itself wouldn't be enough to do an entire 7 1/4 bracelet, which because this is the clasp does not add a lot of length. The clasp only adds about 0.75 inches, if that. See how it's not really adding much. Right. So you're stitching quite a lot of length. But that 3-tube design, look at all that. I probably don't have enough of this left to do another bracelet, but I certainly have enough of those.
Right. And you can kind of, like you were doing, Danielle, kind of mixing it up and stuff. You don't really have to even have a pattern in there.
You don't. You really don't.
But the minimum would be 3 tubes then. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I think you could do it with 2. You just wouldn't. Okay. You would just not be having the same pattern, but
right.
It would still work out really fine. I think that I'm just making a guess here, but if I have this much left and I worked with 3, I feel like 2 would cover it.
2 should cover it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I didn't mean to interrupt your groove, but
no worries.
I that question. And
I did do one that was 2. Let me see if I can find the. So the one that I did with just 2 colors was I went with just white and a duet.
Right.
And that one, there's a pattern for that on the page too, and it makes stripes that kind of have like an almost like a Harley Quinn look, you know. It came out kind of cool. So that's another thing you can do.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
And then
the length, Danielle, one more time. Sorry, the length on that bracelet is 7 1/4. You said.
That's what I went for. And so the measuring just one side of the clasp, it's about 7 1/4 or so. Okay. And I will just like put it on as you're working and test it and make sure that I'm so low on these clasps that to demo it, I'm actually going to pull this thread out.
I get it. I know these clasps are like the holy grail, but rest assured, everybody, we are on alert. When we get them back in, we will restock them. But grab them now while we have them in stock because they're far and few on the ground.
Grab them before I do, because this is the last one I have on this earth. This one.
Oh my god!
I have 1 gold and 1 silver, and this one, and that's it. And I have like 5 people who want one of these from me. And so it's like we'll get there.
And so for thread, you're going to use Fireline.
Yeah, I just used a 6-pound Fireline. I feel like it's pretty flexible because this is a peyote. So you know, peyote stitch, you can kind of get away with lots of different thread. Same story here with that.
And then you're doing a 2 needle. A needle on each side. And how much thread did you cut?
So in the handout, I'm saying to cut 65, but you could go with more if you feel like you could wield more. Oh, actually, I said 80 to 85, but with the tail, it's more like working with 65.
Gotcha.
You leave about 15 to 20 inches behind as a tail to work your closure.
Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem. These are great questions. And so just off camera, I've got my pattern sitting. I put it like this away from me so I can just kind of follow it. And I'll just pick up the first bead, which is our, the black raspberry, I think is it. And just bring on to each side. Oh, and I created it so that if you're working with a dark thread, your dark thread will be on the side of the bracelet that has and more of a hidden, because the other side is a white side. So there won't be any thread running that side. Because the odd count turn will happen on the, what's it called? On the raspberry side. If I remember correctly. So, okay. And so there's the black raspberry. And so you're going to string it with the dark side facing this way. And in the handout, I did something a little different to start it. I was showing you that way because I think that might be a smidge easier. But in this one, here's what I did. I just strung it like that. So 20-inch tail there, 65 main. And you could probably get away with more like 15-inch tail there. Unless you really want to like, because this is what you'll use to reinforce the connection with the clasp on that side. So having a lot of extra doesn't hurt, but you could probably get away with a little less. And then here, you could even make this longer if you felt like you could do so without getting a knot. but that's a good safe one. So from here, you end up with that. And we're just going to string 2 beads and go through 1. 2 beads, go through 1. And in the case of this pattern, we're going to have to look for which side of the duet stringing. So once you get this first one done, though, you can just refer to your own stitching. You won't have to stare at the pattern. So starting with that one, I'm going to pick up another one of the raspberry and another one of the raspberry for this side and just string that from the white side. So each of those through the white side. And then I pick up one of the Vega. And on the Vega one, I strung those dark side first, but it actually doesn't matter what side you string first. You just want to be consistent with all the future ones. So pick a side, either dark or light side. And for all the ones down the bracelet, just string those in that same direction. And so here's what you'll get if you pull working and tail thread apart. Get that little pop there. So we're just going to repeat that down. And I actually a little generous with my tail. Let's make that a little smaller. Okay. And so switching to the next one, which is the plum, I'm going to string the plum dark side first on each needle. So the plum, dark side, each needle. And then the blue one from the dark side. Just to keep me from getting confused, I just went with the dark sides for all of the more solidly looking duets. And for the ones with the white, they do switch around a lot. So you only really have to watch for those. So now I have that. Okay, and then the next one is going to be this really pretty one, which is the mint chocolate. And that one looks like I went from the green side. So green side on each needle for that. Is that right? Oh, actually, no. Sorry about that, guys. We did the blue. Now I want to go the white side. Then we'll do the green, and then we'll go to the green sides. I was jumping ahead of myself. No worries. Let's take that off. But
that's how it is with a live show.
Oh, yeah. Well, this one, it's kind of a little mindfulness exercise for me because I do tend to not be able to follow patterns very well. At least getting them started is tricky. But once you got it going, then you're just looking at the picture. I mean, you're just looking at your own stitching and you just copy what's there.
Right.
So it's just getting this first part. And then after that, it's kind of smooth sailing at that point.
Yeah.
So
and I like how you're attaching that. I should take a leaf out of your book. When I did the Gem Duo bracelet, I actually started it from the top, but this is very smart because this is essentially peyote stitch that you're doing.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, did you start from the finding on your stepping stones?
I did. I started from the finding and then I just kind of stitched in circles because I use the edge beads.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of, you have to go down a row and then back up a row and then down a row. So with the edge beads, it's a little different because they have those 2 holes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
But you could also use the Gem Duos kind of like this and just put the seed bead in place of those edge beads.
Oh, yeah, totally. This would work perfectly with that.
Yeah.
And then the thing about the SuperDuos is I was not able to start these on the finding.
Yeah, it was just too hard.
They don't have a flat side, so they wobble. So you kind of got to get some structure first before your finding will attach.
That makes complete sense. Very nice. That would also, Danielle, I'm just looking at what you're making. That also would be with just that 2-1-2 configuration, like a cool long chain out of those.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So keep stacking like you're doing, just the one on top of the other. And then you could come back in and fill in the sides with an 11-aught or whatever. But that would be a cool skinny bracelet.
That would be neat. Yeah. And you could even, like you were saying, 11-0 here, or even a little, little AO, or even a 3mm I don't know if it would need to be a True 2 or a 3mm fire polish, but
Right. But it would be cool, even like a skinny bracelet like that would work too, but that configuration. I always get new ideas um, when you start stitching.
oh, thank you. Yeah,
Love
that
it.
would be really cute, wouldn't it? I feel like
Yeah.
that would really work.
It would make a great chain,
Yeah.
um, for something. Have to play around with it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that would be so cool. But so that was the hard part. The rest of this is like super easy. So if
Awesome.
you get to this spot, you're smooth sailing. Then it's just watching for your pattern, just looking at the beads that are next to it. So let me just make sure I stick to what I did originally because I sometimes change it up. But it looks like I did the clasp next just to get that out of the way before carrying on with the rest of the design. And so the clasp is really easy to attach. I'm going to grab the wrong, I only have another, these two. So let's do gold. Or do you think silver or gold?
Oh, I don't know. I like them all. I like all the finishes. It's hard for me to choose.
I've done gold, so let's do silver. Let's see how that works. Yeah, okay, and so you'll see how it just fits right on there like that.
Oh yeah, really great.
It's really perfect. And so if you were working with the other one, the one that only has 5, then you just essentially would want to end after that bead. And just leave these off, these extra 2. Or you could say 3 if you count that one. And then it would fit perfectly on something with 5 prongs. And actually really cute. It'll be a little band. So from here, I'm going to work with the tail side thread on this side. Let me bring this down a little bit. There we go. It's a little better. Hopefully it stops wobbling. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to get a size 11 and just go ahead and place that finding right there onto the work and go through the finding and all the way through all the beads. So we picked up an 11-0 there. And then we just went right through. And it's that easy. It like goes right through. Even when I had a bent needle the other day, it was still worked. It was kind of impressive. Just make sure that beadwork there is tight. That looks good. And just pull that through. So you'll have something that looks like that. And then from here, just going to pick up another 11-0. And here we're going to go through this bead on this side. And you can probably get through 2 of them. So through this outer bead and then through the next one that's in from it. Eventually, we're going to have to go through all of this and reinforce. But you can get through like that.
And this is just reinforcing all of these anyway. So if it feels a little loose on your first round, you're going to come in with these stitches and kind of do that reinforcement.
Yeah, exactly. This is that chance to make it strong.
Yeah. And then Margaret has a quick question while you're doing that stitching. She says, Danielle, did you find many clogged holes in these beads? It's so frustrating to encounter one already in the weave.
I didn't. I know what she's talking about because I remember that was a thing with SuperDuo forever, but I don't really have that problem with this one. And I've gone through a couple batches now, and there's 1 or 2 maybe in the entire time that I've been working with them. I feel like with the duets, you can kind of see them, especially from the lighter sides.
Right, exactly. Right.
So I may
just have give it a glance before you put it on your needle for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so from here, you'll want to reinforce that one more time. The second pass is often very tight, but so you'll go through your 11-0, and then this part you'll have no trouble. You're just going swoop right through, and just look on both sides, make sure it didn't miss any. But it rarely, if ever, misses any. It either won't go through or you're going to get them all in one swoop. And then here through the 11-0. And then you got to do some more weaving. And the second pass I find is trickier because everything's pretty tight. But one trick that kind of works is you can probably get through 1 or 2 pretty easily, but see if you switch from this side to the other side for some reason, poking through to the back side helps me get through a SuperDuo easier.
That's what I found with the gem duos as well, for sure. But it just shows, Danielle, how skilled you are in being able to push that needle through multiple beads. It's great. That really is such a good, such a great technique. And our friend Leslie's here. Hi, Leslie. And Leslie says, and she would know, always check any holes of those 2-hole beads before stitching, for sure.
Yeah, it can't hurt to do that. Definitely. You don't want to be stuck with.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Sometimes I'm a little cavalier about it, but
I am too. I like to live dangerously.
exactly. Look at that. Looks fantastic.
And so from here, you can just weave this in, and you can weave it in now or wait till you have some more rows to weave them into, which I usually do. I usually just kind of leave it to the side, and I've got plenty of length left there from that tail to weave in later. And now I'm just going to work the rest of the design.
Great. And you can, with that 8/0 that you chose, I really like that metallic green. But let's say that you wanted to bring out another color in those seed beads or in those SuperDuos. You could use a purple, you could use a blue, you could really pick up any color, or you could use, we have some of the Duracoat, the galvanized silvers, some things like that. So it, put your own stamp on it for sure.
Yeah, even like just white.
Yeah, would be great.
All of those colors will work so nice. I like the idea of matching the clasp color, like you said. So like a silver for this one.
Yeah,
that would
look kind of pretty.
It would bring the metallic down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah. Yeah. And so
I really like that green. We finished all
that. We've got that all finished. And then so from here, there's just going to be the rest of the stitching. So you've got an even count row and an odd count row interchangeably happening. So this is the page that repeats for the entire design. And the pattern is really easy to follow. You just look at the bead that you're matching. So in this case, we've got a Sage and Citrus Duet, and we're going to be stringing it from the white side, but pick up an 11/0 first, because that will bridge that little gap between the two beads. And then pick up from the white side. Here, I'm going to check both holes just to make sure, because the live. And so, yeah.
The downfall of the live.
Yeah, I figured we've been talking about it. So like, I'm actually going to check these. The universe is always listening. And then just go through the open hole of the next one. Like you could call it your up bead, because each of these is your up beads.
Right. Because we are doing peyote. We're doing an even row and an odd row. I really need to wrap my head around that this is peyote. Usually I say peyote stitch, with the rocal with the round seed beads, but it works with the 2 holes too. So I just need to wrap my head around that.
Oh yeah, for sure. This kind of stitching works for like almost every single 2-hole bead. I actually just did this with lentils, 2-hole lentils. Oh, cool. It came out cool. I'm going to try bar beads next.
Yeah, we're thinking about adding a new shape. Janice and I are just, we were just kind of talking about, stuff for the later fall and stuff. I love that lentil shape. I don't know what 2-hole shape to add next. So if you folks have any ideas, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, I love 2-hole beads.
Yeah, same.
And so this is where the design gets so easy and really kind of just intuitive. But so now I'm going to add this bead here, and I'm looking at it and seeing that I did the lighter travertine side. So I'll string it from the lighter travertine side, go through the next up bead, and you can instantly see that it matches. Green side of the next duet. And the other cool thing is each row is either working with solids, or I call these ones the solids, even though they're technically not solids, but they're
right.
So stringing from the blue side and string from the purple side of this Vega one. So there's that.
Oh, look at that. Just look at how they line up. And I love, love, love how you're getting those stripes of color. In my Gem Duos one, and I did find the bracelet, so I'll show to you folks a little bit later. The Gem Duos one I did completely random, which you could do with this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But those stripes of color really add some visual focus to this piece, I think.
I love it. It's very meditative and it's calming to look at because it has structure that your eye follows.
Right.
So I think that's why it's one of those ones where it's one where when you're wearing it, people will ask you.
Yeah, for sure. Love it.
And so this next part is going to be our first odd count turn. It's really easy. I'm just going to pick up the last bead, which for us is this black raspberry. And so you're going to want to string that from the white side. And if you're not sure, you can always string it, line it up like that, and then just take a look and see that it's sticking to your pattern. That's what you want. You're going to have like a white stripe because of the way those connect. But we need to join it with an 11-0. So pick up one of these, and then we'll head back through this SuperDuos hole. And usually in one swoop, I can get through the one that's one in from it. So it looks just like that. And when you pull that through the new SuperDuo, it should sit right alongside just like that. And you'll get...
Oh, so smart. Just locks right in there.
It's really like confidence building to see it pop because you know you've got it like right in the right spot.
Yeah.
And then you're just gotta turn.
That's really clever. So what I did, I think, on Gem Duos, I kept going with this row instead of doing the odd count, making the turn like you're going to do and then go back. I think I just kept circling around, which works, but this is very clever to just think of it as odd count. Makes complete sense.
And it's quick too, because from here, just to get back where we want to be, which is exiting, we basically want to get here so we can continue the next row. And I made the colors line up so that working with a dark thread, our turn is going to be hidden on the dark side of a bead.
Right.
And this, I took my original apart for this very reason, because I wanted those colors. I kind of wanted a thread to hide, and I've got two different colored sides, so it was really tricky.
Right.
But so now our other turn is going to be on the dark side of this bead.
And Leslie's asking, Danielle, have you tried this bracelet with the Ateni 4?
I have, Leslie, but I was using a lentil. And it was super cute. But it's the same thing, and I think it would work, actually. Come to think of it, I could probably even just use the same illustration to show it working on a 4.
Yeah, I use the Ateni. I didn't use the clasp. I used the Ateni. I used it for the Gem Duo. But I'm looking to see the Ateni 4. We have the Ateni 4 coming. We haven't done it yet, but we will get those in because we've got these with the 6, but we'll do the 4 as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that would work great. You would just get a thinner band. The trick is for every prong you remove, you're just subtracting one column. And so if you, for example, this one started with, it starts with you string, technically you string 11, but that first row you could say is 10. And so if you move down a prong, so for the one that you currently have in stock with a 5, you would just start with 9.
Right.
So
of the Rosos. Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of exiting from, let's bring back this one here. This makes more sense. Here's technically that's 11. This odd count. But just to make it work with the one with 5, you would just take that off. Right. And create your pattern like that. To make it work with the 4, you take both of those off and start with that.
Right.
And it would be so easy to adapt that I think it really could work for all configurations.
So let me ask you this, kind of like I make those SuperDuo diamond earrings when I use just the small little single and I increase on the edges. If you had a clasp, if you wanted to make this wider, you could increase, right?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
With the SuperDuos.
Oh, yeah. And then the 4, come to think of it, you could decrease to make a 4 work and still have the
Right,
white band. Yeah.
right. Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
that
all kinds of things that you could play around with it. I'm looking for my SuperDuo earrings. I think I was wearing them yesterday, and I think they're honestly sitting on my pillow on our bed. But you know how it is. You go to bed with your earrings on, and then you take them off, and then they're
yeah.
locked in the sheets
That's
for
the
like a
word,
week. Or
yes.
maybe that's just me. But that'll be
No,
fun.
mine are always, like, next to my bed too, like, on my nightstand, or I leave them on the bathroom counter. That's the worst place to leave them because then they end up getting knocked into the sink or something.
Right,
But
exactly. Or some naughty kitty of mine.
yes, if you have a cat, you've learned how to, like, lock up all your stuff, like
Alfred leaves him alone, but little Oliver loves a shiny bauble. He takes after his mama. And so
Oh.
if there's a little something left on, you can see that little paw, just push it right off, and then someone's trotting around with mama's earring.
Oh my gosh, I love cats. They're so cute.
Little
I
brats.
love how naughty they are.
So naughty, so naughty.
Yeah, this would work. So, like, pretending this had 4, you would
Mm-hmm.
just end with replacing basically in this row, you notice we replaced the darker colored ones, so
Mm-hmm.
I guess I call them the solids, but we replaced those with the clasp. Here, you would just replace those center 4 with the clasp.
Right.
It's just the 5 one would be trickier because the 5 one you would get
It would
you
be
know,
offset.
yeah, offset, but
Yeah.
it would still work.
Yeah. But it would be an odd number.
Right, yeah.
It'd be yeah, offset. It wouldn't be in the center.
But the cool thing is you can really just play with these counts and make them work for anything.
Yeah.
The same technique is gonna work.
Well, I will tell you, I am just shocked at why we didn't carry these symbols earlier. And we still have more to add. We still have more to come. We need
Oh,
to add more ADOT symbols and stuff, but they're so clever the way, and I use them in other things too, especially the earring ones. They're really fun to experiment with, and the quality on these are so beautiful. They're really nice.
I love them. And they're just so versatile. And I love your earrings. Your earrings were the coolest thing ever.
Right? They were just fun to do. Kim is saying if she's lost any earrings, coins, or pens, she looks behind her toilet because the cats like to play in the bathroom. That is for sure. And Kim, a big thank you. And I need to send you that photo. Kim was so kind and sent some birthday cake decorations. We talked about Miranda's, but she also sent my mom an 80th birthday cake decoration that we used on her cake on Saturday. So Kim, so nice of you to think of us. And I'll send you a picture of my mom with her 80th birthday cake decorations. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, that's awesome. And hi, Kim.
She does such a good
That's
job
so
with those.
cool.
So thank you. Yeah, that looks great. Danielle, really nice.
And it's so super easy. I'll throw another row on there just so we can see it, but
Yeah.
we've pretty much learned all of the pieces. So this is the even count turn. So picking up 11-0 and picking up the first duet. It just pops right in place like that.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Solids all the way back.
And Leslie, for sure, you folks designing those symbols, you guys did such an amazing job. So we appreciate you over there for sure.
Absolutely. You can tell how much work went into them.
Yeah.
They didn't settle for fits good enough. They went back and probably did a bunch of fine tuning and
yeah, it's really
a lot
nice.
of back and forth on designing like that. It's really impressive. And here we go. Odd count turn. Let's show that one more time.
Yeah, odd count's ready.
You will get quick. You'll be able to do it in one swoop. Just not even thinking about it. It's not like in single bead peyote, single hole bead peyote where you kind of think about those odd count turns. This one, they're very natural because of the 2 holes.
Right. And notice how Danielle is holding her needle at that kind of like at that diagonal. So it just, you don't want to kind of push your needle in straight. You want to make sure that you're at that diagonal, and it makes it really easy to do those turns.
Oh yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
Yeah. But even there, when you're stitching that seed bead in, see how Danielle's going in at an angle, and that angle of the needle just naturally, it's just so much easier to grab onto it. That's what I really learned working with the gem duos, because it's similar, because it is also a 2-hole that's kind of a diamondy shape. So yeah.
Yeah. No, totally right. I never thought about that. Sometimes you just autopilot, and you don't really.
Yeah, same. That looks great. So there's a couple of questions here that we've got from Lonnie. Lonnie's asking, are you going to reinforce it again at the finish like you did at the beginning?
Yes. Yeah.
And Cheryl's asking if you could go over with the 2 needles, just another quick little, you can certainly replay this broadcast, Cheryl, but it wouldn't hurt for Danielle just to maybe talk us through it just for a minute, if that's not too much, Danielle.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, let me go ahead and just, what I'll do is I'll trim this one, or actually let me grab another thread really quick. And I have a bunch of little needles next to me too. So again, this is just 6-pound fire line here that I'm using. And I think I'm just going to go with a little short strand, but you would originally want to cut something in the realm of like 85 inches or so. And you probably still end up adding thread. That happens, I think, in almost every one of these. I've had to add thread. So I'm flattening the ends of my fire line so I can get my needles on.
Because these are size 12 needles, it makes it a little bit easier.
It does. I feel like it really does. And I've just got a pile of them next to me. There we go. Those are my 12s. Okay, so, and this 2 needle thing is optional. It just makes it easier to visualize the pattern, especially the complicated 8 color one.
Yeah, I find I use the 2 needles sometimes when I do the SuperDuo diamond earring. And I like using 2 needles.
You don't mind having it's just at the start, so you don't have to do the whole time, but yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes I carry it through. If I'm doing something short and I want it really reinforced, I'll attack it from one side and then cross to the other side. It's kind of almost like the infinity stitch with laddering.
Oh, yeah.
Or regular laddering stitch, not infinity, but regular laddering stitch, how you go from the left to the right and the right to the left.
That makes sense. Yeah, it totally does. And I do think just, like for my brain, I'm able to see it better.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's that first bead, starting the first one and leaving a 20-inch tail on one side and pulling through a longer strand on the other. And so what you'll have is this kind of like a little stop bead for your peyote.
Right.
The next bead is going to be 2 of that same color, but we're going to string them from the white side. So on one needle, you'll put the white side of one. I'm working currently with the black raspberry. There's the other needle getting its bead. And the pattern I'm following is just right here. So we started with that bead and we're stringing white side, white side. And I'm going to bring on the Vega. And sorry, on this print, my printer is not very good. It's not showing the 2 sides, but the Vega bead is this one, and it's got kind of like a purple side and a bronze side. And I went with the convention of, for this part, stringing the dark side. And I'll do that for each of these. Each of these has like a light and a dark side. And that's just for my memory. So I'm not having to switch back and forth, as you're working
nice.
this. And what ends up happening is when you're picking up these beads later in the stitching part, you'll always be picking them up from the light side if you string them dark side first right now. And so then I pull the working and tail thread apart and I get this little kernel pop. And so the next colors on the pattern here, we're just going to string the next color of Duet, which this one is the plum and cream. So string from the plum side and then bring those to the dark side of the blue luster. So we'll bring on plum and a plum. And then here's the dark side of a blue luster, and just bring both needles through that.
Nice.
And so that's pretty much all there is to it. I'm going to pick up the next color is the mint chocolate. It looks like I went with the white sides first. I've never successfully memorized this. I still have to look at the pattern. So there's those. And then bring those through the green luster. So dark side of the green luster bead. Use my Darth Vader voice for that one. And then looks like from there, the dark side of another mint chocolate. And for this one, I'm going to bring it through the dark side of the travertine. And bring that on. And then just after every one of these adds, you're just pulling that working and tail thread apart, and you should get this little pop. You want to do that probably after every 2 adds, or you get the little wonky overlap that I had there for a second.
Right. And that's where we were talking about continuing that on and just making a beaded chain.
Yeah, you could just keep going,
Mm-hmm.
just like this, and it would give you a beautiful beaded chain.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the last one. I've switched to the Sage and Citrus Duet, which is the last color there.
That
And
might be my favorite. I love that Sage and Citrus.
That's my favorite too. I love this one. It's really pretty. It has so many different colors in it.
You know, we carried duets right when they came out. And I really think, number one, it was kind of early. You know, we didn't really have any projects or anything with it. And so, but this is just the perfect project for those duets.
Oh, thank you.
It really shows it well.
I enjoyed it. It's one of those ones where I wanted to keep going. You know, you've got something that is kind of cool when you want to keep working on it.
Yeah.
Even long after you're supposed to switch to doing something else and you still want to just sit and do that.
Right. So Janice has an interesting question here, Danielle, because we start a lot of our loomed pieces in the center and work our way out. Janice is asking, could this beginning also be used for the center of the bracelet and then each needle goes out from there?
Actually, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And that would save you adding thread if you wanted to go with, so for example, I got about this far on this one and I was adding thread. So you could go 120 inches and start in the middle.
Right.
I mean, if I could go back in time, I might write the instructions that way. That's even better.
Right. And so, because especially like, let's say that you adapt this pattern and maybe you want to make like stripes of color with SuperDuos or do different things. Sometimes starting in the center and working your way out from both sides. So you know that you're smack dab in the middle with your center. Sometimes that comes in handy. I know it does, like when I'm creating a project on a loom. If I know that the center has to be the center, I'll weave whatever the center is, and then I'll work, you know, to the left and then to the right.
I think that's cool. Actually, I think that's a better way to do this, to be honest. I think that's what
I don't know if it's a better way, but it's another way to engineer it for sure.
It's interesting. No, I think it would, because it would save you adding thread, and adding thread is a pain because you have to weave through SuperDuos, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
all of the clasps and everything are all available right on beadshop.com. The project is linked on the homepage for now, but you'll also see it top of the project page as well.
it's a really nice page. Everything is just like right there.
Yeah.
I love that you did that combo with the beads.
Yeah.
That's so neat. And yeah, and so from here, so actually, now that you mentioned, so you guys could just keep working the pattern, work it this way until you run out of thread, then flip it, work it that way with your other side thread. And then when you get to the end, put on your clasp. It's the same way on both ends.
Mm-hmm. No, it's
So
great.
good.
And Stemhilly is asking, if you started from the center, would you use one needle at a time? Yeah, you would. You could take the needle off and go, work one way and then change the needle, put it on the other thread and go the other way. You could also use, Danielle, if you wanted to add some metallics, SuperDuo has the SuperDuo substitution beads.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like that center of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that sixth row, when you do the even count, if you started in the middle, you could start in the middle with the metal beads. So the center
Oh,
row would be metal and then work it out from there. That would look cool,
that would look so neat. That would give it
wouldn't
such
it?
a glow too.
Yeah.
I
And
like
I
that.
love the substitution beads. I
Those are cool.
thought, because, I love metal. So I'm like, a Super Duo in real metal, not just plated glass metal. I'm in. So
Yes.
in.
Yeah, I know that is so cool. And then that way you can match your clasp and everything. How
Hmm.
neat would that be? That would be really cool.
Yeah. I like a center.
Yeah, I recommend that. Start from the center, guys. I think that's going to save you a little effort, when you get to the end. I feel like that's a good idea.
Well, I love the troubleshooting. So to finish it off, Danielle, to do the second side,
Mhm.
do you want to show us that real quick?
Yeah, and I apologize for working with the light colored thread. I was sitting down there without access to my other tube of thread, and so I worked with white on this one,
Yeah, no worries. We can see it.
but this is what happens if you work with the white thread. You'll see it on the side of those dark beads. I may actually redo this one, but you get the idea. It's kind of the same thing, really, and it does look a lot better though if you're working with the dark thread. That side will stay clear,
Right,
and this side you'll just see those, and even the turn is hidden on a dark side
right.
bead. So yes, definitely smoke is the right one to go with. So to finish it, it's so easy. Oh my goodness. So the one thing I would recommend is if you see the shiny silver side of your clasp on one side, you want to put this side like that. And if you aren't sure, you can always just bring it around and test it, make sure it would actually clasp. Because I've put them on like this before and been like, oh man.
And I just wanted to let everybody know, Danielle, everybody, and that's such a great tip. Do not have it twisted. The clasps, we have the brass left right now. If you're watching it live, it's 11:36 a.m. on the West Coast. We have about 15 of the brass left. Silver and the gold have sold out already. But I promise you, we will be getting them back in as soon as our supplier. We had, at our retreat, we had some of our customers are like, I've been looking for them all over the place and everyone's sold out. So I promise you, as soon as our supplier gets them back in, we'll get a nice big order. But pick up the brass right now. If you want the brass, there's, as I say, 15 as of right now. And then we'll be getting more in. Put yourself on the notification list on the other ones, and you'll get an email as soon as they come back into stock. And apologies for that, folks, but we got as many as our supplier could get us. So we'll get them back in. Don't worry. This is a keeper. Sorry about that, Danielle. I just wanted to mention it before.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know exactly what you mean because I can't get more, and like I love them, and so it's the same thing.
Yeah, we'll
It's
get
really
them.
funny how much I ended up really liking these because they're so
Yeah.
cool. They're really cool.
And they have such a clean look to them, really clean, sleek look.
Yeah, exactly. I used to struggle with finishing my designs, and it was kind of a deterrent to making things because you get to the end and you have to do something that looks less high quality and polished than your beautiful beadwork. And so,
Yeah, kind of hacked together. We
yeah,
also carried the SuperDuo sub beads. So those are also in there as well. If you go to our symbols page and you sort by the type of bead. So you can sort all the symbols for SuperDuos. You'll see like the substitution beads, you'll see the earring findings, you'll see everything for that category of symbols. So you can go to the website and sort by type.
That's handy. That's really cool.
Yeah. Makes it handy.
Yeah. And so, one thing I forgot to mention, when you're ready to put your clasp on, you will need to end with the row of the duets that have the white sides, because the clasp substitutes the ones that are the more solid color. And you'll know because it won't fit when you go to try to put it on. If you've ended with one of these rows, you'll be able to tell that. You just need to end with one of the rows that you're about to do an even count turn. So you'll finish an odd count row, an odd count turn, and that's all. That's how you'll know you're right where you want to be. And then try your clasp out, and it should just be right like that, seamless. If you got that all figured out, go ahead and pick up that 11-0, and then just go through the clasp and all the beads.
Just like that. Look at that. Zooms right through.
So easy. And then you just like pull it through, close that other side with another 11-0.
And this is where you do that reinforcement, like the question earlier.
Yeah. And this part is, there's kind of no way around. I guess you could kind of do one of those thread bridge turns, but it strengthens up the whole row if you do this. And I think that's kind of a win.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do a thread bridge turn on like the third pass, but it really, this row, you kind of want to go through all the beads.
Yeah, especially since that's like the clasp row. And oh, thank you, Leslie. Leslie's saying, I want your website. Thank you. We work really hard to try and, I don't know, there's a lot of things on my wish list, but always room for improvement. But I appreciate that kind feedback.
Yeah, your website is one of my most favorites.
Oh gosh.
Easy to browse.
Thank you. It's always, all I see is what, Janice and I, we see what we want to change. So I need to start looking at the positives, not the negatives, for sure. Always,
we're always most critical of our own stuff, but
right? Always something.
And you're their bar. So
oh gosh. Well, thank you. We try.
So this is pretty much it in a nutshell. You go through this one more time. Now, if you wanted to do a thread bridge turn, it's going to show. So
yeah,
you're going to see this thread, but if you want to, you can always pick up and I guess luckily worked with a different color thread here, so you can really see what I'm doing, but you can get underneath this one here.
And that acts as the stopper.
Yeah, and then you just head right back through the 11-0.
Yeah.
And here's what it looks like when you do that from the side. So you can kind of see that little thread pull. And then on this side, you see that. Is it, it's not too dramatic.
No, it's not the end of the world. And if you're in a pinch, like let's say that you need to reposition or something, you could definitely do that. No harm, no foul. No one's going to be that up close to your wrist, but whatever works for you. I always say there's no wrong way in bead weaving. There's just, a means to an end.
Yeah, it's not even really that noticeable, I feel like. So yeah, if that saves somebody making another trip through beads and makes it more enjoyable, then I say
yeah.
The way you can do it. And then weaving in is super, super easy. And there's even the bonus of, I like to weave in this kind of like cheat way, because we don't want to go through these again. It's probably the last thing you want to do right now because they're all tight. So
right
from here, we're going through the 11-0, go through the first little sage and citrus duet here, and pretend I'm working with the smoke color thread. This turn will be invisible against this bead because it's the dark side of the bead.
Right.
You can turn and just go through that one now. And this is going to bring you out of that high density real estate area. Keep going down.
So you're just weaving it down the side. Very clever, Danielle.
And this is so much easier than going through all those beads. And then once you get a little further down this way, maybe 4 for 3 or 4 beads down, then you can go through the row a little bit and trim it.
Right.
And so I guess I kind of at this point I've made so many of these that I have a recipe for weaving in now too.
Yeah. Nice rhythm for it.
And yeah, I'm going to use that trick where you go through the work. This part, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's a little tedious, but it definitely is worth doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, do you think it would be secure if I just went all the way down the side and trimmed it? I mean, go down.
Well, I would go back like through 2 beads. I just would through to the center. I feel like sometimes the edge,
It's
I mean,
loose.
I think in concept it would probably be fine, but my fear of having my bracelet fall apart will make me weave to the center.
Yeah, I think I would too. And then if you go to just like this green bead, you can make a turn on the dark side of that bead.
Right, exactly. And that little turn, I think, really makes the difference.
I think so too. So from here and then make a turn there.
And if you have to, I mean, you can see Danielle's she's telling those beads who are the boss, and she's just getting them in there. So sometimes, again, she's angling that needle comes in at that diagonal. Sometimes that helps to kind of wedge the tip of the needle in, and then you can kind of push it through.
Yeah, and then that going through the other side definitely helps.
And that's where she's turning. See how she's turning the corner there? And if it's the smoke, you're not going to, and even with the light, you're not going to see that.
Yeah, even with a light colored bead.
Yeah.
Going to be too much. But yeah, I guess I had some really tight stitching there. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
good job. Nicely done.
I think I accidentally picked up a size 10 beading needle here.
Oh, could be.
That's another thing that I'm noticing. But yeah, so maybe go through a few more here and trim it.
Yeah, and that's it. And I think you'd be fine right there.
Yeah, just trim it right there. I think so too.
That's what I'd say.
I'm just going to go ahead and burn that. There we go. We finished it.
Look how beautiful that is. Love. I can't wait to make mine. This would also make a little bit skinnier. People are making hat bands now, like they're going out of style. It would look great over a hat. And then you could just stitch it closed so it stays on the hat without a clasp. It would look amazing.
That would look cool.
Yeah. And again, change up your 11-aught on the side if you want to. I think that would look really good. I'm going to add my Gem Duo in here, and I'll check and see if we've got any of the Gem Duo bracelets. I mean, the Gem Duo mixes left. But mine was really inspired, Danielle, by your guitar strap. And you can see I did the acrylic clasp. So this is the one with that clasp specifically for the Gem Duos, but you could use this same acrylic clasp with that Rosos there.
Oh yeah, that would be so pretty.
Right? It would be really pretty. Cheryl's asking, can you hear all of us clapping? Yes, a lot of applause for that. Let me zoom in here. But you can see how I was completely inspired by Danielle's. Let me put your, or you want to hold up yours real quick again, Danielle? There it is. Let me see. Yes, gorgeous.
Yeah. I love this.
What's that other bracelet you're wearing there? I don't know that.
A little peyote stitch one that I made. And I got the scaffy symbol in there to kind of make
nice. Yeah, I don't know that bracelet. Danielle's website has some really beautiful designs of her own. And she shared also in our files, in our Beadshop group files, Danielle so generously shared some peyote stitch patterns in there too. There's that unicorn one that I want to make real bad.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really fun, like original when I was really obsessed with doing loom patterns in there too. There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
So cool. And this one is on my website. It's a downloadable.
Oh, that's
It
great.
can be
Thank
made
you
of
so
like just
much.
any delicas or any 11O beads,
Mhm.
anything really goes going to work fine.
Yeah, they're all up there.
This came out so cool.
And yeah, it really came out nice. I've got, let me remove that one and I'll hold mine up here too. There are 8 more of the Gem Duo um, collections left. We're going to be adding some Gem Duos in the duets. But if you like this collection, I'm not going to be doing this as a collection again. I might do a different colorway, but it was so inspired by you, Danielle. This I would not have made this if it wasn't for you.
I love it. I love the way you
Really
put the
gorgeous.
backlit colors in there. They really
Yeah,
pop.
the backlit is just the backlits are ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, just
It's cute.
look at them.
They just shine.
Yeah, they're like magic. I want to do a backlit with black Gem Duos and the backlits.
Oh, yeah, that would
I
be
mean,
pretty.
that's going to be perfect, I think.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, super nice. Well, my friend, thank you so, so much for sharing this and your generosity. We really, really appreciate it. So let me tell you, the Gem Duos are up now in the long, not the Gem Duos, the SuperDuo Duets are up now in the long tubes. So grab them while we have them.
Just like those.
Yes, like that size, the 20 to 22 grams. Then we're down to the last few of the brass in the Ateni clasp, but we'll be getting those, my friends, back in when, as soon as our supplier has them, we have a notice going out. Look at how sleek that looks.
So
But
cool.
you can always substitute, my friends, if you grab the Rosos, you can do that one with the, we carry these acrylic clasps and we carry them in a lot of different colors and stuff. This is that blue, but we carry it in a purple and like a silver color and a pearl clasp, which is gorgeous. Question real quick. Katarina was asking about international shipping. We do. And let me just be completely frank with you. With everything that's going on with US shipping, with tariffs and this and that and all of that, we ship out, but we really have no idea, honestly, if there's going to be duties and tariffs on your end. So I mean, we want you to order and we want you to get your things. Unfortunately, we have no way of controlling it. We're keeping an eye, as always, on the tariff situation because tariffs are really affecting what our suppliers are getting in and what we can get in from overseas. So hang tough, my friends. That's, as we always say, small business is not for the faint of heart, and Janice and I are in it to win it. So I promise you, we're doing our very best to make sure everything goes smoothly. So we really appreciate your patience, and you can always email us with questions at info@Beadshop. Thank you, Janice, for putting that Gem Duo bracelet. I have the project up as well. So we're going to be doing more. We'll be doing more with those 2-hole beads. And thank you for Sharon for thanking all of us, including Alfred. We appreciate you. Let me put up just real quick, I'm going to cover you for just a second, Danielle. Apologies for that. You can find us all over the web, our wonderful Facebook group. It's called the Bead Table. You can find in the files of the Bead Table Facebook group is where you'll find some of Danielle's peyote stitch things that she shared. I'll go ahead and share them in the newsletter tonight, some links to it. So you can see those. But go ahead and join the Facebook group. It's a really great resource. We're almost 10,000 beaders strong over there, and it's a really friendly, amazing, supportive group over there. Instagram page has all kinds of inspiration. If you do share to your Insta, make sure and tag us at beadshop.com so we can share your projects out. Our Pinterest pages, again, more inspiration, lots of fun stuff over there on our beadshop.com Pinterest. And if you're watching us live or you're watching us on replay, I've seen you folks. You folks are subscribing and subscribing, which makes me so happy because I want to hit that 100,000 by the end of this year, you guys. 2025 is the year that we get that silver YouTube button and 100,000 subscribers. So please, please do me a solid. Do us all a solid here and hit that subscribe button if any of our content speaks to you. Hit us up at beadshop.com, all over socials. And again, if you have questions, reach out at info@beadshop.com. I think, let me see if I can take this off. I think that's it, Danielle.
So cool. Yeah, it's like the best Facebook group for beading, like out there. And the channel is awesome too.
Well, you're very, very kind. And we really, really appreciate all of your generosity with us. We couldn't do it without you, without our wonderful staff here, and without those of you who are out there watching. You know, you're the folks who keep us in business. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. All right. Well, Danielle, I know we've got another project coming down the pike. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.